one of those persons who have a left brain that works well and a right side of the brain that works well, which is really rare. Most of us are either economists or musicians or creatives. He's one who got both. Ramon Vives is an economist by profession, and he used to be, I wouldn't say a rock star, but a quite well-known musician in Spain. So he got both. So what's more natural for someone who knows figures and knows how to do business on the one hand, and who knows how to create music, to combine both of things, which is probably somewhat of a household definition of audio branding. Ramon Vives, we're happy you're here. He's the co-founder of the Spanish unit of a very popular, very famous French audio branding agency, Sixième Son. And he's also a teacher at the University of Barcelona. He'll not talk in Catalan to us, he'll not talk in Spanish to us, he'll talk in English. Thank you, you're here.
Hallo, thank you. Ich könnte es auf Deutsch machen, aber nächstes Mal. Jetzt ich bin noch nicht bereit, aber ich kann antworten auf Deutsch, okay? Weil ich liebe eure Sprache, okay? Ich habe gelernt in diesen 2 Monaten. Die Sache ist, dass maybe none of the parts of the brain work, but it's true. I'm a passionate musician and less passionate, but also economist. And the thing is, I'm going to talk a bit about audio branding, which is a very big issue. And the deal I did with the moderator at the end, because we don't have the time I wanted to have, we all wanted to have, is that I'm going to, if you resist my conversation, I'm going to give you this, this pen with a presentation of my company. There you have all the things. You can erase it and use it wherever you want, but it's a branded pen, so you can have it at the end of my conversation, okay? So let's talk a bit about the beverage industry. The role of music in marketing, and especially in the beverage industry, first was limited to the use of music in commercials. But new technologies and also new ways of thinking and advancing had helped to implement newer strategies. So I think the beverage sector, what you are representing here, has nothing to do with other sectors. You will see now that the conviction and the usage of music in this sector is amazing. It's much more worthwhile than other ones. So I'm going to begin with a presentation of audio branding and my company, but very fast, and then we're going to go to the examples. We were going to have fun, okay? Okay, my first presentation was also a bit similar to Rainer about how sound is very important to us. We are here because of sound and because of how we are surrounded by noise so much. Mostly of it is accidental and involuntary. We pretend not to hear what's happening, but we do. We do hear, and our relations with sound is totally unconscious. That's why sound affects us so much psychologically, physiologically, cognitively, emotionally. And I've been always aware of it. I'm very sensitive to sound. I'm particularly sensitive. I'm always traveling with earplugs and with headphones in order to not be attacked by many sounds. So that's why probably I'm speaking now today here. That's why I'm here. So sound matters, can profoundly affect our mood, emotions, energy levels. And music as itself optimizes, as sound organized, optimizes our state of mind, definitely. So if we are aware of this, the audio branding industry, we created, I created this company because I'm aware that audio branding strategy for brands, for your brands, can deliver the message you are sending much more clearly. You can enhance credibility, you are more credible. You can definitely connect emotionally, just a direct connection to the emotions. You can motivate consumers, and you can also, once you motivate them, improve their loyalty. So, audio branding manages strategically the sonic relationships that brands establish with all the audiences in all the touch points brands have, which are a lot, and sometimes we're not aware of so many touch points we have. So, we enable a sophisticated marriage between sonic and visual attributes. And we create the sense of overall aesthetic appeal. So it's important for your companies to know who you are before trying to convince consumers of who you are. And that's not made just by choosing a piece of music and playing it in a commercial, but knowing who you are, doing a deep analysis of what you are, then translate it into music and then express it. So these are reasons enough to take in seriously this discipline, aren't them? We take the advantage of the huge potential of sound and music to embody this brand character that we distilled in all the touch points you have, to influence the consumer's perception of and behavior. That helps to build and maintain emotional relationship with them. And very important, not using music tactically, but strategically. That's the big change of how the branding proposes, creating a brand sound experience. So please take your time to read this sentence while you drink. A very interesting sentence by Ruth Simmons, a colleague of our industry. So the long-term benefits of audio branding are an optimized product perception and brand loyalty, less vulnerability to competitive actions. That's very important. It's the benchmarks we do in audio branding are very important. So you know who you are because you know how competitors are. So you are different than them. So you want to differentiate your brand. You have reduced vulnerability to crisis and better margins, better consumer response. You improve communication efficiency. You definitely have greater possibilities of expansion because they know you more and you can get more markets, and you have a greater, once again, connection with your audiences. So about Sixième Son, there I'm going to be very fast. We are a company that was created in '95. We are now in Paris, Barcelona, Beirut, and Chicago. I'm running the part of Barcelona, because I was a convinced audio branding fanatist and enthusiast, and I went to the audio branding, to a Sixième Son manager and told him, I want to work with you. And so he wanted to work with me as well. We have a very clear vision about what identification, differentiation, and valorization of the brands our audio branding strategies bring. So what if your brand had sound as unique, as powerful as your logo and colors? Why are you taking so seriously your logos and so not seriously your brand sound? Is as important and more emotionally connected than the other one. What if your unique sounds produced results like being more innovative, perceived as friendly, or perceived as 80% recognized as a brand we are working with is the French railroads? You'll see that in our examples. What if your audio DNA were leveraged across all your touch points? Not one of them, not only in communications in TV, but everywhere. You are connecting, you are interacting not only with your customers, but also with stakeholders. You are communicating sound to everyone. You are expansive communicators. So what if your audio strategy became a long-term marketing asset? That should you, not changing the songs or the music you're using in every single campaign. So this is some companies we work with. You see, we are worldwide, different sectors, different countries, and we are a global agency. And we have professional teams integrated, working in every single contact point that is created. We have always new contact points. Mobile phones didn't exist. Now they did exist, and they do create sound interactions. So from a musical universe, we attack to the identity design, or the contrary. For the identity design, we can develop a musical universe of a brand. This is our methodology. We always come from the analysis to creating a sound identity and then the applications and its implementation. So let's land into music and drinks. Music and drinks are the perfect mix. Well, Coca-Cola in the 60s already believed this, taking this picture with the Beatles. Music and drinks have always had an excellent and multilateral relationship. So today that brands have to compete in more innovative and different ways. Beverage brands have to offer relevant brand content that connects emotionally with customers. So it has become common that marketers adapt songs and experiences with artists, embed in commercials, and so on. And now we'll see some examples about it. But let's see how this is done. There are different platforms that we can think that music and drinks are being relationship. They have the relationship is taking place in many different places. So, and both of them, the nice thing, that both of them are getting a very high mutual benefit. And that's why they are doing it, because it's a win-win situation. So, the first place where they are big relationship is, of course, in advertising. That has been long done. In advertising, we can see it's important to say that the origin of the music used in advertising can result in campaign big costs, in problems of rights of management and licensing, and especially missed opportunities to create value. So this is music in advertising seen as, where do you take this music from? Are you doing a cover from a well-known piece? Are you doing original music? Are you composing a special jingle for your brand? Are you just taking a pre-existing song and are you making it sing by another artist so that your costs are lower? Or you're just taking the original song, which some brands do. And taking the original song, for example, I've been working with some banks in Spain that they are very strong, probably the strongest bank in Spain, is using a Beatles song. Is it good or bad? Well, it depends on the perspective. It can be very good because the Beatles, it connects directly with so million of people and fans, and it's bringing you so many associations. But the same song is being used for other brands at the same time in the same country, for example. Or then, where's your differentiation there? Where's the added value that you're bringing? I'm telling this to the bank marketing manager, and he's telling me, you're right, but they prefer, no, they paid so many rights for licensing this song that now they are using it, and they have to take into advantage of it. But it's very important that some brands are taking into, are getting music which they don't own. So if you don't own these assets, it's okay, but probably someone is going to benefit from these advantages that you are creating, or the contrary, you are taking the advantage of someone. There are some many other examples that I could put. But there are some sound codes used in advertisement of drinks that we could recall in a broad outlines. So, for example, mineral water. There are clearly two main tendencies. They are the purity, transparency, simplicity, and nature of mineral water. It's always played through crystalline and acoustic tunes, but there has been changings in this. In the communications of these brands, now, because of Evian, began to get a new perception of water. So now waters are claiming the joy of life, vitality, youth, and fun. So you have music more dynamic, more fun, and rhythms more fast-paced. So even if in mineral water we don't find original sound identities, we do find these two tendencies. We still find the sound elements that Rainer was selling, I think, but they are not really ambitious. Also, you have sodas. Sodas, you have urban, positive, young, and fun music targeting this kind of teenagers, and which are really the main target focus of these drinks. But now we have a new tendency there, because everything now tends to be so natural, and then natural and tropical tendency because of fighting this chemical and industrial reputation. All these drinks are now, as you know, probably fighting this reputation because everything now is bio, everything now tends to look like natural. And so is the music, because the music needs to reflect this. So the nice paradox that we find is that mineral water is tending to the energy of the sodas before, and the sodas are going back to the codes of mineral water. That's kind of contradiction, and then they're going to find in the wrong place both of them or not, and then going to change again. Fruit juices, they used to use vitamin C, dynamic rhythms, and they are also changing into acoustic. We'll see an example now. So the Vio Imaginary, once again, is here to stay. Distilled beverages as whiskeys and vodkas and so on, they have two main tendencies in communications. One is tradition, ritual, and territories, like very jazz and warm soul, this masculine James Bond gentleman. And there's another issue, another tendency, which is excess and young nightclub with electronic and house music, which is not necessarily very tendential, but yes. Energy drinks, always energetic and fast tempo. They stay there. And beers, it's very difficult to define a musical style for beers, because they use always illustrative music depending on the scenario of the spot. So they are interesting so much in music. They are doing so much things. They are all sponsoring a festival, but you find different things like Jamie Cullum, Mika, Beyonce, Rihanna. We'll see some examples if we have time. Coffees are, they changed from folk and traditional music into perfume, luxury, and chocolate and orchestral music. So the only coffees that still stay in traditional and roots music is the fair trade coffees. The other ones lift this. It was a familiar product, now it's a personal consumption. It's like, I take it on myself, I'm individual. Some examples at the end. First of all, I'm going to show Evian water. As we said, water is now more transparency and acoustic. So they still end saying this pure and natural. They still with this sound, but it's completely different to the codes that they were using before. Another example. Now we go to the Jewish fruits. As we said before, they go to the acoustic territory. Have you seen? He squeezed it there. He did it there himself. So it's another code they're using. And finally, the coffees I talked. It's no more traditional roots coffee.
I think I have something that belongs to you.
Me too. You want to meet?
This is premium jazz. And elegant.
That's incredible. I always imagined you to be much more... much more ristretto. Good night, Mr. Di Caffeinato. What else?
Then now I'm playing a Schweppes commercial from when I was a kid that I'm still remembering once and once again, but we'll see the change of Schweppes, for example, as sodas, as we said. It's very 80s, but you see, this is a cover of Police, and then Schweppes moved into another territory, completely different, which is, I'm going to explain it in 5 minutes. This territory, it's no more just a song or a music, but it's a marriage with music. So Schweppes now plays this. one other platform where music and drinks are meeting are in, for example, in video clips, artist video clips. We find some product placements which is very useful for both of them, artists and of course brands. These are for video clip, you know, just a part of it. We see the Pepsi cans. Sorry, the Coke cans, sorry. So, companies here can develop deeper emotional connections with the audience through being married with this kind of artists. And that's changed a lot, and we will see the whole of it. Now, for example, sorry, with other artists that we could show if we had time, but now we should go to another platform where they are taking relationships with sponsoring. So a lot of drinks brands are sponsoring a lot of things, artists, festivals, and so on. Monster, as you know, every single beer now, or every single energy drink is sponsoring a music festival, and every single festival is sponsored by a beer. So here I have a sentence of the Monster marketing manager that was saying that most companies invest in agencies, TV ads, radio, etc. to tell you how good their products are. But Monster, instead of this, we support the scene, our bands and our fans. So this is a new strategy to be involved with music. Another one is Jack Daniels. For example, Jack Daniels says, their marketing manager says that attaching Jack Daniels to the music scene makes sense for a brand with a history embedded in music. So most of the brands now are trying to become synonyms of music. The top of it, of course, is Coca-Cola, because it has been doing it for a long time. This is an ad of Jack Daniels. Okay, then they also organize events, concerts, and tours. They are even taking the place of the promoters and of the labels. They are becoming promoters and labels themselves. Some drink brands are now taking this place. So this is a step further than sponsoring. The brand is completely involved with the show and the audience, and this is a full brand and music experience. So it's the top stage of relationship between a drink brand and music. The huge example of this is Red Bull Academy. I don't know if you know it, but I just show a bit of a video of Red Bull Music Academy. This is a whole experience. It's a long-term music initiative committed to fostering and creating change between musicians, between fans, and everything is connected in a high level. Okay, I think this is enough for this. And there are also strategic partnerships, very, very expensive strategic partnerships with artists. For example, Beyoncé signed a $50 million deal with PepsiCo to be its official brand ambassador. So that's a huge amount of money just to be its brand ambassador, and not exclusive. She's also cross-promoting it with other products. So brands themselves are cross-promoting the same artist who has total freedom to compose and to do things in order to be married with the brand. So also some ads of Beyoncé with Pepsi, and some new and different strategies that I want to show you here. Have you seen this?
think something is very, very. So, pick up a can of Fanta to find out how to download all these sounds from the website. But do it soon, because to be honest, by the time you get to my age, you won't hear a thing. Which is...
We thought this is the perfect way of engaging with our target group of teenagers in a way that we haven't done before. So I mean, it's one thing to put out a TV ad that is nice, and it's another thing to actually put out something that consumers are excited about and that they use every day amongst their peers. So it helped us to become part of a community, and the community is our teenagers. So it's brilliant. It's a perfect tool to, that represents what Fanta stands for, to overcome, adulthood and boredom. That's part of that, and give our core target group a way to communicate with each other without the rest of the world knowing. So, I mean, how cool is that? I personally like just the facial expressions of people who can hear it versus those who cannot hear it. And if you put both together in one room, it's amazing the reaction that you see.
As a demonstration, and just in case you don't understand the idea fully, we have been playing said sounds all the way to this film. So those of you around the age of 16 would have heard the sounds loud and clear, and those over a certain age would have heard absolutely nothing.
Did someone hear something? So no one here is less than 16. So that's a new strategy of Fanta to reach teenagers, and that was very useful with these ultrasonic alarms used to disperse these teenagers. So have we seen these brand music strategies all along with the sound branding? They build emotional ties with audience through music. They get inspiring and unique performances that people remember and talk about, engaging fans all over the world in order to create these exclusive things. So we identified these different steps in the music stairway that drink brands can have. The first is the unconscious music usage, which brands just rely on employees or whatever to choose the music. Just put this song. I was told once as a musician to compose songs for communications. They were telling just put a song that's similar to this, to something that was already existing. So that sends wrong signals to customers, for sure. Then the second step would be the conscious music usage. Brands have developed their own identity, so they know who they are, they know how they used to sound, they need to sound, and they even can have a sound logo. Some brands, they can stay there, depending on which kind of brand they are, but not drink brands. Drink brands, most of them move to step 3, which they are involved in music. So they get involved in music, doing activities, promoting, etc. And at the end, we found the fourth and final step of the music is owning a strategic platform of music and creating music culture, just like Red Bull does. I think is the top expression in music involvement in a drink. So with the sound identity, in parallel, you can know which your brand identity are in order to, at the end, create an audio brand experience as a whole. I want to talk a bit about the Coca-Cola strategy. I don't know if we have time. Have we? 5 minutes. Okay, perfect. Coca-Cola, as you know, is a brand that as they say, have long recognized the power of music to connect people around the world. And they are doing this. So Coca-Cola, they did Coca-Cola Music Global, which is a whole program to accomplish the main objective that Coca-Cola has. Which is the main objective Coca-Cola has? Teenagers. Teenagers, they need to attract teenagers, and lots of them, because they're always new generations. And which is the highest or common denominator for teenagers? It's definitely music. So Coca-Cola is married to music, and they are working this very, very high. They have jingles, they have ad songs, they have artists, they have sponsors. They have every single thing that we said here. They even have an audio logo, that very known audio logo that we will see now. They began with some campaigns that I'm not going to put now, in order to stay in these 5 minutes, but they did jingles with every single singer in the United States. They did this amazing and well-known jingle. They say it's the most well-known jingle in history. This was done for Coke, and then it became a hit, and they recorded, other bands recorded it, and it became a world hit. This from the 71. Okay, so Coca-Cola developed a 5 notes logo, which probably you heard. Here we have some examples of it. Okay, this 5 notes Coca-Cola logo is definitely, in our opinion, additional element of attribution. So it's better to be there than not to be there. It also avoids the confusion of multiple melodic expressions of Coke. So if they are using different songs, which they are putting the logo in the middle at the end, or they are even putting it inside the song. And they call it watermarking. So they are watermarking this logo type inside the song. It's a very simple C major logo, so it's very easy to put inside. Even if we think it doesn't create much value because it's probably too square for Coke. There's a lack of craziness, and it's not emerging that much. And even if the brand has a strong personality, it's probably the most well-known brand in the world, the signature is probably too smooth for us. And the thing is, and we know this from the marketing director of Coca-Cola Spain, I've been talking to him, that there's no adaptation guidelines. So they can use whatever the tone you want, whatever tempo you want, instrumentations you want. Every single country is doing the logo, is adapting the logo to himself, which could be good to the territory, but not to the global brand perception. So this here is a nice experience of audio branding in Coca-Cola. I was so astonished that I asked to film it when I was meeting at Coke in Madrid. And I found it amazing that you open the bottle just when you get inside. I was so astonished. I said, hey, that's great. And so we also worked for Coca-Cola, and we did something that I hope that you can see the difference between the two of them. Coca-Cola called us to tell us that there was an advertising that they did that something was not working. So I'm going to play you the TV ad before, once Coca-Cola sent it to us, and then afterwards we worked with it. Okay, this is the TV before. And it's done. And this after. Did you find a difference? I hope. Okay. Okay, then that's it for me. Thank you. So the ones who stay, I'm going to give you now some keys if you want.
You stay too here for a moment.